Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Crystal.
As always, we are very excited to have you all with us along for this journey on this here podcast. But before we get started, y'all know how I'm going to start the show. Crystal, how are you, my friend?
It's been a okay week. Week. I'll say that much. It wasn't too bad. I had got the gig that I originally told you about last week, and then I know, right? Really exciting. Yeah, yesterday they canceled it, so.
And there we go.
And there we
Son
go.
of a bitch.
I know.
Wow.
So I was very disappointed because I was just really excited to get back on set after being off of it for so long. But other than that, I mean, it's been pretty low key. So I'm really excited for this episode that we got going on. I had a friend reach out and sent me a couple of things. A couple of people reached out and sent me stuff. So one of them is something I don't know if I should be excited about because I haven't seen it. It's a TikTok video that they sent me. They really wanted us to do some sort of blind reaction, so they asked me not to watch it, so I didn't. They're really particularly interested in your reaction, so I'm very curious what this TikTok video is.
No.
I know.
Okay, now I'm scared.
Right. I know. So we're just going to jump right into it because we have a lot planned today. We're going to have a story that I was also sent that is... I'm really excited to share with you. I know you got a story, and then we have some more listener write-ins. So I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to jump into it. So this is the TikTok video. Again, I don't know what it's about. So we're seeing it together.
We finna go through this thing together. Here we go. I'm gonna just let y'all know I'm scared.
Me too. But it's not very long. It's like 47 seconds. So how much drama could it be in 47 seconds?
There's been a lot more and a lot less.
Literally for how inconsistent they are. Let's take a look. For example, these are all black, but this is darker, but this is a little bit darker. This is pretty dark, but that's not as dark, and this is pretty light. Here's another example. I painted all of this the same color black. You right. All of these are the same color black.
Okay, yeah.
But this is so much lighter than this.
It is. Yeah.
Than that one. Yeah. I'm with you.
Although they're the same material.
Yeah.
It
This
is.
is like real black. And the same with
See,
like this
sometimes you
bottom
gotta
of
put
the
some gray
TV.
in it.
Like, seriously?
Right.
Why is it
You know
not
what? I'm with you when you're right.
She's black.
Yeah.
And she's not even like black.
She's not okay.
I thought I was about to have to fight somebody.
Because I didn't catch what that first gentleman said until the very end when he said something about the blacks, and I was like, "Hey,
right."
oh."
So what he said? Tell me something problematic about blacks.
And you know what? All I heard was about blacks, and I was like, "Hey, now."
I vaguely heard it, maybe because it's on my side. But I was like,
and then she talking about inconsistent. I was like, "Hey, now, what type of time is your friend on? Because I don't know if this is somebody you need to be hanging around."
Right. Okay. I was like, oh man, am I gonna have to? Is someone about to get their ass beat? Like what?
We was about to hit in recording, and we was about to wipe the entire podcast.
I know, and you know it's funny too, because the girl in the video, who's reacting to it, I think me and her made the exact same facial expression at the exact same time. We were both like. Okay. Yeah. Yep. You right. Keep going. Oh, that's so true.
I'm going to assume that the person that sent this to you was black.
Yes. They were.
Okay. Because if they weren't, it's about to be real problematic. I was about to be like,
They were, but it's funny.
Friend? We need to get on the.
It's funny because I'm looking, I have so much black things and I'm like looking at my iPad, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at like the controller, and I'm like, yeah, they're all different black colors.
Different shades.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm with her. I'm with her because I too, have a lot of black stuff, and it is all different shades when you're trying to, but it's usually paint. It's usually different shades of black paint.
Yeah.
So, and your friend almost Wow.
And it all goes together somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
it will
her
never
fireplace
not.
was very. It didn't. Her fireplace wasn't. She gonna
It
have to do
needed
something about
something
that.
more. It needed something more.
If
More
the shades
color.
matched,
Right.
then it would be okay.
Right.
But the fact it looked kind of ashy. So I see why she was upset about the inconsistent blacks. You know, that's a problem we have in this country. The inconsistent blacks. See. Yeah. Wow. Well,
Wow.
shout out to your friend for triggering me.
Right.
Here at the top of the podcast, we ain't even 10 minutes in, and I'm triggered.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the little emoji thing. Thumbs up. Just whenever.
We should have a drinking game for the show. Every time, if you're watching the podcast, and if you're listening to it, Crystal has this little emoji thing that pops up anytime she does anything that resembles a thumbs up. So every time that you see that, if you're watching the podcast, take a shot. Take a shot. If you're in the middle of your workday, go to the ABC store. If you're in Virginia, go get you a bottle, get you a shot in the parking lot, and go back to work. Okay? Wherever you're at, take a shot.
We're going to start some drinking problems. Yeah, I don't know what it is because it's a thumbs up. Yeah. And then there's another thing I do. I don't know what it is, but it will trigger like balloons coming up, like a celebration. Yeah. And I'm just like,
I don't know. It's so random.
So random. All right. So, well, that was fun.
Yeah, that was good and triggering.
True, but
Saturday evening, yeah.
Right. It just makes me wonder, like, did the two people who did the video, did they know each other? Or like was his question, like when that guy made that question, like what answers was he looking for? Like,
and you know what? That is a good question, because what is the context behind you making that first video?
Because if it is something, you know, triggering, that one lady who stitched it was very creative when she was like, yeah, let me tell you something. Yeah. And then shows all the black things in her apartment.
They had to be in cahoots, because no context is there a reason for you to ask the internet what's your problematic opinion about the blacks. Like, there is nothing, I don't know, there's no way to think of anything other than, you know, people with melanin. So I want to know the backstory behind that, because sir, you almost got off easy. Thank God Crystal is on her toes tonight, and thank it, because I would have let it go. You would have got away with it. Now I'm on your ass. What did you mean by that? And what did you mean by that? I would like to know. I'm speaking on behalf of the blacks. We would like to know. What did you mean by that?
What was the context?
What was the context behind it? Because it's giving very Jim Crow, very very segregation, very, you know, 3/5 compromise. Is giving very much that. And that's not, it's 2024. We're on to bigger and better things. It was just Black History Month, you know, the longest Black History Month in 4 years because of the leap year. You know what? I saw somebody say something on Twitter today, and I don't know if you noticed it, because I'm not in the US. So, you know, Black History Month is not a thing over here. And if it was, I would probably be one of the 6 blacks in this country to celebrate it. But they said that they didn't see a lot of Black History Month campaigns or celebrations or anything like that companies usually do every year. You know how for Pride Month they changed their logos and stuff to the flag and all that stuff. And I didn't notice it either. I didn't really see any companies making any mention of Black History Month or anything like that. So I don't know if it's something that you noticed, because I didn't notice until they said something. And I was like, huh, they are absolutely right. I did not see a single thing from any companies. They say, you know, for like Popeyes or Church's Chicken or KFC. You know what? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm being racist. Sorry. Um, did you see anything? Did you notice a difference?
Now that you're mentioning it, I want to say like leading up to it and maybe even in the beginning of it, I did see a lot of, talks about it's Black History Month, yada, yada, yada. Same commercials. Some of them you've been seeing for a couple years now. They're obviously reruns, stuff like that. But once we started to get to the middle, you're right. It just kind of like died off and it wasn't talked about again. Like even around, like driving around, I only saw a small handful of schools who outside of their, on the little talking board thing, the little writing board thing, who had mentioned, it's Black History Month. And you can guess which neighborhoods those were located in.
Exactly.
So yeah, I see what you mean. Yep. Yeah, I definitely think it was scaled back a lot this year.
Okay.
I think the
go ahead.
most we might have is that they played Hidden Figures like religiously every week in February.
Not Hidden Figures.
Yeah. I feel like I saw that movie at least like 4 times.
Wow. Okay. I didn't have any context, so I was wondering, like, is this actually a thing? Like, was it dropped off? But okay. Well, happy belated Black History Month, because I didn't mention it either here on the podcast. I'm just as bad as the
I know.
damn
I just thought about it. I was like, wow, we didn't even do it for the podcast.
Girl, and we mentioned every other holiday. We didn't mention Valentine's Day, actually. We skipped right over Valentine's Day.
We did. We should be better about that. We'll try to gear some of our episodes towards whatever, holidays around,
the holidays and stuff. What's the next one? St. Patrick's Day? Is that this month?
In March? I think so.
Is St. Patrick's Day in March?
Don't make me lie. I think so.
I think so. I think it's this month. So we'll have to find some stories about alcoholics.
Right. Because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, yeah, I haven't really seen any advertisements about Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's Day either.
Yeah, I think they do it when it gets closer, when all the bars and all the alcohol companies get to doing their little St. Pat commercials,
Right. We'll have to wear like green or something.
I heard through the grapevine that you have a story for us.
I do.
Is that true?
I do. I have a story for us.
We would love to hear it. Yeah.
And I'm excited to tell it. It is a little long because it does have an update to it, but I think this is a nice little man. Okay, I'm just going to get right into it.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, this one says, now granted, this is from the best of Reddit updates. So I don't have I'm not on the person's page. I don't know what they originally put this under. So the title is, "My whole marriage is built on lies. I don't know who to trust."
Oh my God. Okay. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but this is like, I was going to mention it in our pre-show meeting, but I forgot because what happened. This title reminds me, because I asked you the other day if you had seen the Risa Tisa stuff on TikTok. I don't have TikTok, so I actually saw it. I heard about it through a podcast, and they mentioned that the YouTube page had it in its entirety. It's like 52 parts or something like that, 10 minutes a piece. I just want to say, because we're not going to get into it because Crystal hasn't seen it. Crystal, I implore you, please watch it.
I am. I'm going to watch it.
Girl, it is. We're not going to cover it on the podcast because by the time you see it, it's not going to be relevant anymore. But just to mention here, Risa Tisa, girl, my heart goes out to you. I love your spirit. I think you are a fantastic person. I wish that we could meet, because just the way in which you articulated yourself and laid the story out and the thought that you put behind it, I was like, these are the type of people that I like. And I saw today that she's going to be on the Tamron Hall show, and just she's very effortless in the way that she conveys her points and retells her story. And she's very self-aware, very reflective. And Risa Tisa, if you ever see this girl, whenever I come back to the US, I just want to have lunch one time. I just want to talk. I just want to sit down, break bread with you one time, but oh my goodness, I cannot believe that you went through that. That is just when you think it cannot get crazier, it got crazier with each and every part. My heart goes out to you. I'm so sorry you went through that. Sorry, Crystal. And you'll understand everything that I'm saying once you watch it. You're going to be like, oh my God. Like, honestly, Crystal, the way in which she told that story the entire time, I was thinking about you. Because you and her tell stories very similarly. Y'all are like very detailed. The way that it's like you formulate the entire thing to where it makes sense chronologically, and it's extremely easy to follow. And it's like, y'all are just very, very good storytellers. So I really want you to see it because I thought about you the entire time when I was watching. I was like, this is Crystal. Like, the way, like, I want y'all to sit down, come up with a story, and retell it. Yeah. Like I would listen. I would listen to that. I would love. But anyway, sorry. Please, back to your story.
Yeah, me and my mom, we plan to sit down and watch it, kind of like how you said, where you and Nina were. It was like a whole week you guys were watching it. We plan to do that too, a little bit every day. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it because everyone's been saying exactly what you said. Pretty much is what I've been hearing from everyone. So I know it's good. Obviously, it's got to be good if it went viral the way it did. So I definitely plan on checking out. And even though we're not going to do a full coverage of it, I'm pretty sure we'll probably talk about it. So stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my whole marriage is built on lies. I don't know who to trust. I am a 45-year-old female. My husband is 47 years old. We have 3 daughters, 20 female, 19 female, and 15 female. What I thought was a perfect family was a lie orchestrated by my husband. We moved into a new home closer to my middle daughter's college. As I was unpacking some of the stuff, I came across my husband's box. I was just checking if things were missing or not. I opened this box and found some stuff. Those were my photos when I was 20 years old. There were pictures of me going to my college, to my gym, hangout spot with my friends. There were lists of the places I used to visit when I was 20 years old. But here's the thing. I met my husband on my 22nd birthday. So why does he have numerous pictures of me in different places from 20 to 22? He had pictures of me in my own apartment back then. As I went into the rabbit hole, I discovered many things. A list of places I normally went back then, like the gym, my library, my classes. He had lists of my friends and their names in a diary. He even had the list of all the guys I had dated back then. I found his diary from 1998. Most of his entries were about me. I didn't even know who he was back then. He didn't exist for me. I won't bore you with the details, but basically I found out that he staged a day we were met for the first time. To woo me, he took a job as a bartender at the bar I usually went. He spiked my drink so that I passed out and he could save me. It worked because I was very much impressed by him. I mean, any guy would take advantage of a drunk girl, but he didn't. He took me to my home safely where my roommate received me. I forgot my purse in the bar, which was my husband's ploy too. He stole my purse so that I can come and get it. From there, we started dating. I do not want to say everything he did was a lie, but that's all that was. Now I know why he always bought things that I liked. I thought that we were soulmates, but in reality, he was just a creep who stalked me for 2 years. I never felt like I was in his control. In fact, he always showered me with love. He was not controlling or abusive. He had always been there for me. He was so sweet, passionate, and caring that I felt like the luckiest girl in the world to be with him. Even now, when I told him I have to work the day before Christmas, he smiled and told me he will handle it. Now this is all a lie. I don't even know the person I married. How can I ever trust him? We have built our lives around a lie. How can I tell my children that their father is a con? I feel like I am going crazy. No one will believe me. He has created this image about himself that he can do no wrong. Please help me sort these feelings. I do not know what to feel. Additional info. She said, of course, he lied and hid the truth from me. God knows how much more he is hiding. I have doubts he even has a second family because of what a psychopath he is. I try to remember good things about him, but the fact that he has staged my entire life, starting from when we started dating, is scary to me. I left out many, many details because he uses Reddit. About the photos, she says, I didn't share them. Those photos were taken by him while he was creeping on me. I haven't even met him back then. And it is very ironic that you're more concerned about, I guess she's replying to a comment. She says, I think it's very ironic that you're more concerned about his privacy being violated than he has been violating my privacy for more than 20 years. There is an update, but I will let you react first.
This is nuts. This is nuts. Okay, so where do I even go from here? I would be so freaked out at the scheming portion of it, because like that's something that bothers me anyway. Like if you lie to me, like, okay, I'm gonna be upset. But if I know that you've been scheming on me, that's a whole nother level of anger and feelings of betrayal and everything than if you just straight up lied to my face. But if I know you scheming on me and lying to me to have some type of reaction so you can do something, when I do react and like you got this whole plan on me, child, there's absolutely no way. So for me, like she said, it's the scheming. Like it's the fact that you planned all of this, and she been sleeping next to this man for 20 plus years, not even knowing who he really is. I mean, I get having an infatuation with somebody and, really wanting to be with that person. Maybe he didn't think that he had, what it took to pull her on his own merit. If he had just went and talked to her. I mean, he drugged her. He drugged her, Crystal, and set up this whole scenario for her to have to talk to him again by stealing from her.
Yeah, that's
just
what
to turn
blew
around and
my
try to play the
mind.
hero.
Yeah, like if you wanted to stage like you guys, I mean, bumping into her, like even just as simple as like, when you're working at this bar hoping she forgets her purse so that when she comes back you can talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Anything would have been better than drugging her. Like you drugged her to be her Prince Charming. Nothing else that happened that would be that. I don't know how someone gets over the stalking, but to find out that that he was the one who drugged you.
But here's the question. Do you think that you could forgive him? It's been 20 years. It's been 20 years. Y'all, she said it herself. They've had a picture perfect marriage. They've had kids. He hasn't done anything out of the ordinary since that time, as far as she knows. So their life has been completely normal. And according to her, he goes above and beyond. Do you think, after the initial shock of it all, that you could forgive him to stay with him? Because I think I would definitely, my first reaction would be to leave. But I don't know what the second bounce would be for me. What you think?
We would definitely be separated at the very least. This would be a thing that we would have to go to counseling to work through. But on the same level of where we're cheating, where I wouldn't be able to trust you again, this to me would be very similar. What else have you manipulated that I don't realize? Would I be looking back and thinking, okay, this is something I really wanted to do, but somehow he convinced me. Somehow it worked out that I couldn't do it, Like, I would be wondering if because right now I feel like she actually has rose glasses on where she's like, everything has been perfect. He's been great. He's been loving. But I'm wondering if you then look back, are some of those things maybe not as great as you're making it out to be? Just because I don't know. I guess it would just be really depending on the person. If it's true, if your marriage really has been essentially picture perfect, if he's been such a great partner, loving, caring, he's never shown any behavior that you found creepy or ick, I would definitely have to go to counseling at the very least to figure out, like, maybe I wouldn't just sign the divorce papers and have him right there. But it would definitely be, I would just be questioning everything, you know, who he is, what else has he done, you know, does he go out at night and do this weird stuff to other women and then come back and plays the perfect husband to me, you know? Because, you know, that's serial killers do that. You know, are there weird unexplained murders in your state that you don't know about that coincides when he...
That is a very, very good point, Crystal.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that because, you know, the way that I was thinking, I was like, you know, I think maybe since it had been so long, maybe I could move forward with that person just because, bitch, I ain't know. You know, as far as I knew everything, I'm just now finding out, like, if I can work past this initial shock of it all, maybe I could forgive them and move forward, especially since what she said, they in their 40s now. So, you know, baby, we in this thing, you know. However, like you said, the thought of, okay, and was I the only one? Like, are there other ones? Like, our daughters are about to go to college. Are you about to do that to their friends? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff does creep up in your head, and then maybe that would lead me to be like, you know what, actually, I don't think I can do this no more because I'm always going to be wondering about you now. And I think that's worse than starting over, essentially.
Yeah. Well, she did give an update, so I will read that and maybe we'll see if our thoughts change. She says, I know many of you are eager for an update, so here it is. Short story. We are separated. We are both attending therapy, individually and couples therapy. We are not getting a divorce for now, but I did tell my girls the truth. Long version. The day after I posted this, I started to plan how I wanted to approach it. I acted like everything was normal during Christmas, but my husband had noticed that I was concerned. It was hard faking everything, knowing how much he had lied. After the Christmas dinner, I sat down with my husband and told him everything. I even showed him what I had found. I asked him to tell me the truth. He didn't deny it. He said that he once saw me at my gym and he knew he wanted to meet me, so he followed me around. Back then, all of my hangout spots, gym, college, were in the same area. Back then, all of my hangout places, gym, college, were in the same area, so it was easy for him. He would often be sitting outside of my house some days to see where I go. Then when he saw the bar I used to go with my friends quite often, he had somehow managed to get a job there, and you know the rest. At that moment, I felt sick to my stomach. I was overwhelmed with fear and anger. I was crying. My husband came to comfort me, and I screamed at him, "Don't touch me, you fucking creep." I can see he was hurt by it. He was begging me to forgive him. He said that he knows what he did was wrong, but the love he had for me was true. We didn't sleep the whole night. I pressured him to tell me everything. How much did he control my life? Or I will tell the girls everything. He was honest. He said the night we met was the only thing he orchestrated. Everything else is true. He didn't follow me. He trusted me and begged me to not leave him. When the morning came, I urged my husband to tell my girls the truth because I wanted separation and I do not want to hide anything from them. We didn't tell them anything about the stalking, just the fact that we will be separating and we still love them. My youngest didn't take it well. My oldest and middle child were understanding. I told my husband he and I both need therapy to see where we stand. I was seriously questioning my marriage. Then again, he was the best partner I ever had. He is the perfect husband and a good father. I remember those times when we would enjoy the snow on New Year's and barely got out of bed. I will always remember the good memories we shared, our wedding, our honeymoon, the birth of our children, every family vacation. Those were not lies. I know that he loves me deeply, but this is something I cannot get off my head. Now I just feel guilty about calling him a creep. I can see it broke him inside. I love him so deeply. I know he loves me too. He never hurt me or did anything that would cause me any harm. He never cheated on me. He could have, but he didn't. That's why divorce is not an option. We will see how we can move past this through therapy. This might just be my last update unless things change.
I think she handled it. I think she handled it perfectly. I mean, keeping the kids informed, letting them know what's going on, keeping the door open on the marriage. I think the fact that he was sitting outside her house, I think that would have been it for me. I think I would have got that piece of information. I would have been like, oh, actually, no, we can't work this out. No, because you were stalking me. Like, we moved from like creepy infatuation to stalking. You're not finna be sitting. Don't you have class to go to? Don't you have something to do? Don't you have to clock in somewhere? Why are you sitting outside my house with my whereabouts, writing in your diary about what the hell I'm doing? No.
See,
I don't think I can move forward with that relationship.
It's the date rape thing. Like, anything could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
What if you had not gotten to me in time? What if I didn't react well to it? What if, you had turned your back and somebody else took over and went to rescue me and they didn't do that. They took advantage of it. So many things could have gone wrong in that scenario. You really risked her life in that. But with all that being said, at the end of the day, this is, she doesn't want a divorce. I understand why. I think she's doing the right things. If divorce is not an option for her, at very least, I think she's doing the right thing by at least separating and for them getting counseling to see if they can work through it. But my question is, why did you keep all this stuff all these years later? Once you had her, why did you keep the pictures, the diary, all of that stuff that showed you were creeping on her for these 2 years? Yeah. Like, what? Because to me, that just feels very much like, how serial killers, they keep like prize, where they can like relive the moments. It feels very much like that, which is creepy to me. But all I'm gonna say is I wish them the best. I hope they're able to figure it out. Yes,
he might be obsessed with you. Like, if you leave him, like, he may get back to stalking, and that's kind of scary. So take the precautions, because I mean, you're gonna be connected to him for the rest of your life, because y'all got 3 kids together. So he's gonna have some type of access to you no matter what. So best of luck to you, baby.
Yes,
that's a sticky wicket. Yeah. It's up to you whether you get a divorce or not, but I wouldn't blame you if you don't get a divorce in this situation.
Yeah.
Seeing that it's so many years in between, but the revelation is a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so I too have a story to share. We're gonna make this one really quick because we do want to get to the listener letter. So we're gonna fast forward through this one a little bit. So this one is from the subreddit r/am I the asshole, and it is entitled "Am I the asshole for dropping off my stepkids with my in-laws and saying that they are not my problem anymore?" Oh yes, ma'am. Yep. My wife.
We don't even have to do the story. Yeah, you're the asshole. You're the asshole.
Okay.
No, I'm just
y'all
kidding.
Remember she said that? Y'all
See, every time you say that, I'm like, how can I be wrong? From that title alone, how can I be wrong?
All right, here we go. My wife passed away just before Thanksgiving. It came out of nowhere, and I am somewhat broken. To make it worse, my stepkids have decided that since I'm not their father, they don't have to obey me anymore. They are teens, and they have never been my biggest fans. They love their dad, and I was only ever their mom's husband. However, when Dina, that's his deceased wife, was alive, They treated our home well and respected me. After she died, they became assholes. Yes, I know their mom died. It sucks. But that was my wife and the mother of my children. I am also having a tough time dealing. Their paternal grandparents are also shitting on me for not being more understanding of what they're going through. I have tried. I have offered them counseling. I have given them space. I have been there for them. I am at my wit's end. The last straw was when we were over there for supper last week. That's at the paternal grandparents' house. I said that it was time to go so I could get the little ones to bed. Just for context, the two oldest are his stepkids, and then he has two younger kids with the deceased wife. Just for context for everybody, because it wasn't really mentioned before. My stepkids said that they didn't want to go and that I should leave them and come back for them. It's a 2-hour drive. I said no. Their grandparents said that I was being too hard on them and that I should let them stay. I'm having a hard time with two small children, the loss of my wife, and two asshole teens without having my in-laws pile on to make my life even more difficult. So I did. I also packed up all their stuff. Instead of coming back for them, I dropped off their stuff at their grandparents' house. I have two kids under 5 to take care of. I don't really have time to baby two teens that are just making my life harder. My house is clean for the first time in weeks. My kids are sleeping through the night. My stepkids are loving. Oh, excuse me. He typed loving, but I think he meant to say living. So my stepkids are living with their uncle in the same city as me so they can finish high school with their friends. Everyone on their dad's side is against me. I don't really care. I was told by both of them and by their father that I am not to try and be their parent. So I'm not. I actually do not have any parental rights over them. Their dad was not even okay with me being the contact for them at school. So his parents bear the contact. So I guess that's the kids' grandparents. My wife left behind a small life insurance policy, which I will divide up between the 4 kids. But I was the only breadwinner in my house. I bought pretty much everything there for at least the last 8 years, so now it's all mine. My in-laws are calling me an asshole for abandoning the kids, but I have 2 kids that need me more. The older 2 have a dad as well as grandparents to help them. My kids do too, I guess. But they also have me, and I want them to have a peaceful home. So am I the asshole? Baby. It's a lot. It's a lot in that letter. It's a lot in that letter. And for me, for Reddit, right, it's usually you are the asshole or you're not the asshole. They voted that there was not enough information to say one way or the other. Right. That too was my reaction. Cause I'm like, I think he laid it out pretty well, what he did. But like them, I don't know where I land. I don't know where I land in this situation. Cause on one hand, he's giving them what they wanted. And I don't see that the teens necessarily had a problem with what he did. But I'm curious to know what you think, because it's a sticky wicket. I think that I'll try not to. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and go in. My initial thought is fuck them kids. That is the motto here on the Tea and Christmas podcast, because y'all want to stay your little asses over there at your grandparents' house. I think it's more that he was going through a lot of not only emotions, but trying to figure out what life is now without her trying to raise them 2 under 5. And now he got these kids that aren't even technically his, and he has no parental rights over them, and they have a father that is alive. My question is, why didn't they immediately move in with their dad? That would have been my first inquiry. Like, y'all finna go stay with y'all daddy? Or so maybe the way he went about it was wrong, but I don't see anything wrong with him being like, you know what, I'm actually going to take care of the ones that's mine and that want to be here. You know, y'all daddy can take care of y'all, because I honestly don't have it right now, because I have no choice but to keep it together for these 2 little babies. Y'all, okay, I'm gonna tell y'all, Crystal's going through it right now. She got some dolls that is hooping and hollering, and I am trying my best. What do they call it? Padding. I'm trying my best to pad, but I'm like,
I mean,
I want her to be able to give her opinion without me saying too much.
They were loud. Like, there was no me even talking. Like, they were loud. My mom just kicked them out. Okay. All right. First of all, context is key. I did not know these were stepkids. I thought they were, when you said the title, I don't know if it says stepkids in the title and I just missed it, but I just heard I dropped the kids off at my in-laws and they're not my problem anymore.
No, it do say stepkids.
Okay, so I must have missed that because coincidentally, literally, I want to say like 2 weeks ago, there is actually a video out there of this woman dropping off her 3 kids to her mama's house. And she's like, get out of my house and or get out of my car. The kids are getting out. And the mama's like, hold on, kids, just stay on the porch. And she goes up and she's like, what are you doing? I'm not raising your kids. And they have this whole back and forth where the mom's like, I'm not raising your kids. And this other one is like, I'm tired of them. I want to go with my new boyfriend on a vacation. I don't want to be their parent right now. Like, you didn't prepare me to be a mama. Like, you didn't do this, that, or the third. They're your problem now. And they went back and forth. The grandma eventually put the kids back in the car. And she told them, like, have fun. Good. And the mom would not move. And she said, y'all get out of my car. It was a back and forth. Finally gets out of the car. And as soon as the kids gets out, the mom left. And so the woman was standing there with her kids.
That's crazy.
Yes. So when you said it, I'm like, is this in the written format? Like, is that what this is? Because, but now in the context of it, me personally, I don't understand why they weren't given the option to go live with their dad either. Like, was that a thing where
exactly.
I guess I can understand why Reddit is saying they don't have enough context, because I would want it, like, were they given the option to then go to their biological father? Because if you have no parental rights to them, how are they staying with you?
Living.
You know, if you can't even get access to them at their school, if there's an emergency, then why do you have possession of them? I don't understand that. So ultimately,
and they told him to not parent the kids.
Yeah,
like the dad told you don't parent the kids. Then why the hell they ain't living with you?
See, this,
why are they still in my house?
To me, this feels very similar to last week's episode, where Anne was told by her stepdaughters that you're not my mom. You know, stop being my stepmom, and she did. And it unraveled from there, because it's like, you all of the people in his life, the paternal grandparents, even the kid's father, you know, the uncle, all of them, you guys want him to do all the things that a father does without being able to, you know, be a father to them.
The father,
you know. I think it's different between actually being a father or mother figure in their life versus just the title of saying, you know, people get hung up on, oh, well, I'm not going to call you mom, I'm not going to call you dad. Fine, but I'm still a presence in your life. Like, that's what you need to kind of acknowledge. And if you are telling me you can't even be that, then I'm not in your life. Like, what am I doing for you? I'm wasting my time. You know, I'm wasting my feelings. I'm getting hurt because you hate me, but I love you in some way, or I care for you in some way, you know? So I ultimately, me personally, he has 2 younger kids. under 5, and these kids are obviously, they don't even want to be in, if they're asking to stay with their grandparents. I think he did the right thing. I think ultimately why he's being called the asshole is because nobody else wanted these kids either, which is really sad. The grandparents don't want to raise them. The dad, for some reason, don't want to raise them, because if he did, the first thing he would have been like is, oh, I'm so sorry for loss. These are my kids. I think it's time they come live with me. You know?
Exactly. Because why are they living with their uncle now? Well, I guess to be, in their same school. But
even then,
it seems like the dad is passing the buck. Like he's making a lot of noise. Yeah. But he's not stepping up to take his kids.
No. So I'm ultimately gonna go with not the asshole. Because I agree there might be some context missing, but from the context I get, it sounds to me like the only reason why he's being called all these things is because they just don't want to do it themselves. But this is obviously not in an environment that these kids are willing to be in that is good and healthy for them. So hopefully by being with their uncle, who is a blood relative, which for some people that is a big deal, the blood relative versus the non-blood relative, hopefully they're able to grieve and also learn to kind of move on, and be better people.
I think in this situation, everybody sucks. Everybody sucks. The way he went about it was wrong. The dad and the grandparents are wrong because they talking out the side of their neck for no reason. So for me, everybody sucks. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited about this. It's time for a little sip and spill, if you will. And the sip and spill is where we choose one of your listener letters to share with the audience. So if you would like to be part of the Sip and Spill, you're more than welcome to share your letter with us, and you can do so by sending us an email at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Now, Crystal, if you'd be so kind as to do the honors of reading the first letter in the Sip and Spill.
Yes. So let me make sure I just have the right one. Okay, so I am too. I understand it might be a little bit lengthy, is what I'm being told. Once again, neither Timmy or I have read this story. We have had a third party who has been kind enough to read it, to do a little bit of editing. Our producer, yeah, honestly. One of them. And has then given it back to us so that we can. So everything you're hearing, we're hearing for the first time too. Yeah. Okay, so she does give this a title, an Am I the Asshole title. She goes, Am I the asshole for telling my mother that if she thinks her kids are entitled, she shouldn't have had us then? She goes, hi, I, 25 female, and my mother just had a huge blow up. Basically, it started when she wanted to talk about the car. It's been having problems, and there's 4 of us, her, myself, my boyfriend, who's 24, and my brother, who's 19, that have to use it to get to work. It's down now. We're all stressed, but we still have to use the car to get to work and make money so we can fix it, right? Wrong. According to her, we don't care that the car is having problems. We're just having fun riding around in a car that could break down. But we don't do anything or even go anywhere. All of us go to work and come home. That's it. Me and my boyfriend haven't even been on an out of the house date in months because the car has to rotate through everyone's schedule. So we feel bad taking it for long periods of time. Anyway, so the boys were out of the house at work and it's just me and her home. She starts talking about how I haven't been considerate with her time and what she has to do. But everyone knows everyone's schedule except hers because she doesn't tell us. Then she was talking about how we're irresponsible because we haven't talked to her about the problems with the car. I literally said out loud, wow, that's crazy, because we talked to my brother who has been fixing it and replacing the parts. I don't know shit about cars, so he tells me a part we need, how much he'll need, and if he wants me to send him money. He tells me and I send it, no problem. Wrong again. According to my mother, I'm lying and I haven't said a word about the car except for last week when I said we got to work on it because it's our only option right now. The conversation then turns to her wanting to tell me all my character flaws, all my boyfriend's flaws. So naturally, I do the same. I bring up the hardships we faced as kids, which would have to be a whole post itself, and the shit that went wrong and what we went through. Sorry, I'm reading this on the fly. The things we saw and lived through, and she called me a effing liar. She said the lights never turned off. We were in the dark for weeks with no heat, gas, or lights. We were homeless multiple times, watching her get arrested and having the police tell me I'll go to foster care and I won't see them ever again. How we grew up watching her and my brother's dad put their hands on each other. How because of her moving us around so freaking much as kids, I had to do 5.5 years of high school just to graduate. Really, I pulled out all the stops. Every time I wanted to say something and I couldn't because I didn't want to add more stress to her, I said it now. I'm not holding back anymore, so it all came out. And just for a little context, I was the kid you didn't even know was there. I stayed to myself, quiet, dealing with my emotions and feelings myself, because no one really took the time to see how I felt or if I wanted to talk about something growing up. And when they did, I said no, because I was used to caring about my own feelings myself. I just thought that was the way it was. Anyway, I go to my room and she's in the living room and I hear her on the phone doing her normal gossiping. She tells one of her girlfriends, and I quote, "These mother effers are so ungrateful and entitled. I'll be damned if one of my kids blames me for their problems." OMG, I went effing crazy on her. Like crazy, like my older sister gets with her. I have 2 older sisters that we don't keep in contact with because of bad decisions they make. They love our mom, but got problems with her too. So I went super low contact for years with them. Also have my own set of problems with them. I came out of the room and told her if she felt like she wasn't responsible for the hardships we had as her kids, then she should not have had us. Then it felt like, that if she felt like we were burdens or how her life could have been different because of us, or how she always said that we lived better than her, so we had it easy and never struggled, then she shouldn't have bothered to have kids. That's always the reason why I haven't had any kids, because I don't want to have the feelings she has for us for my kids. And I told her after this lease is up in 8 months, myself and my boyfriend will gladly move out and we don't have to communicate anymore. Honestly, I'm scared at how fast my mind thought about my whole life without her in it, and it's sad, but I think I'll be okay with her. Honestly, it's so much more than just an argument about a car that turned into something else. I felt like the war was waiting for years and years and just narcissistic and manipulative behavior. And I'm not Little Miss Perfect, okay? I know I can be a big bitch and selfish as hell. I got my own things to work on, but that's for sure. But I hate and absolutely cannot stand to continue to watch as someone I love disrespects the F out of me, and I can't see or listen past themselves. So I want honest opinions. Am I the asshole?
Oh, girl, you are going through it. Before I give my honest opinion, because I do have many of those, let me just highlight this as we start the sip and spill segment, right? I need y'all to cut these letters down, right? Because our producer did do a lot of editing on this letter and they cut this letter down. So this is what I want y'all to do. I want a paragraph. If you push it, a paragraph and a half. But we need it to be condensed. I need you to take everything that is core to your story, core to what you are asking us, and condense it down into a paragraph. We just want the necessary information so we can give our advice or make our verdict on how we think you behaved or people behaved in these situations, because we don't want these letters to be too long, because Crystal and I have said many times the attention span of the audience is very short. Okay. So number one, thank you for your letter. I'm glad that you took the opportunity to get this stuff off your chest, because I do feel like it's very important to you. But as a rule, keep these letters shorter, or
and
unfortunately,
I will say,
we're not going to be able to share them.
For those of you who have a hard time keeping letters short and want to also vent, separate them. Have a part where it's just the letter that you want us to read that just has a vital information in the questions you're asking. And then if you want to personally hear from us, maybe that's not anything that's on the air, you need to vent a little bit, I'm perfectly okay with that. Put it in a couple of spaces.
Or if you want to add more context.
Yeah, this is me venting, because then we can pick and choose some of the context too. If we think it's more relevant, if it will change someone's opinion, and stuff like that. And you can do it that way. You can and write it out that way, if that helps.
So,
but yes,
on to this honesty that you asked for, because baby, you about to get it. I don't know what it sounds to me like. You are in a tough spot financially, your family. It seems like your mom has had a lot of struggles. I don't know what her story is, but it seems like a series of poor decisions and poor planning, kind of flying by the seat of your pants, which has put you in not the best situation where you are having to share your car with 3 other people. I think it's amazing that y'all are doing it in the first place on a car that, from the sounds of it, is barely standing up because it seems like y'all are having to fix something on this car very often. So for me, that's problem number 1, because that creates dependency on one another, and your mom, as the head of your family, for lack of a better way of describing it, does shift the power dynamic, because I don't know if this car was originally hers. I don't remember if you said that in the letter, and y'all are sharing her car. But it does, to me, seem like your mom is projecting her circumstances onto y'all. I think that's what's happening. And maybe she is wanting you all to be in a better position than she is, so you can provide for her, if that makes sense. Because that's when the whole entitlement and not being grateful, I think that's where that's coming from for her, where she's like, why am I still taking care of y'all? And I guess her version of taking care of y'all is, making sure that y'all are sharing that car and whatever. I don't know who has the full responsibility, because you're giving us a story, so I can't really take your word for it 100%, because there are 4 people sharing this car. I'm sure everybody has a different perspective. I don't know how much different people. I don't know who's putting the gas in the car. I don't know who's putting the money towards the maintenance. I just don't know. I don't know who works the most. I don't know who's bringing in the most money. Are all of y'all living together? Are all of y'all contributing to the household? So, and I don't know if your mom is taking the brunt of that, and that's where her resentment is coming from for y'all. But at the end of the day, I think the most important thing would be for you to take the steps to put yourself in a position to free yourself of that environment. And whether that means going to a trade school, or, going to community college, assuming that you didn't. I don't know if you have, but from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like, how do I put this? I don't want to be rude, but the fact that all of y'all are sharing this car don't sound like you're in a position where you have much mobility job-wise. So anything that you can do to get more mobility job-wise, so you can put yourself in a financial situation where you can get yourself out of the predicament with your mom, is what you need to do. I don't know what those steps are for you. I don't know what you want to do with your life. I would also like to know what the boyfriend's role in this is, because I think it's is never going to work out with him and getting mixed up in your family drama. So if y'all can tag team this thing to get up out of there and not, but you need to be smart about it so you don't end up having to crawl back to her and be dependent on her again. But that's where I'm at with it. As far as you guys' relationship, ain't much I can say about it. The only thing I can say is to try to get away from her, because it don't seem like she's going to change. And the only way to keep her from talking shit about y'all, the way that y'all are in the home, is to get out of the home. But Crystal, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there is. Yeah, I don't know your financial situation. I don't know if there's a way for those of you, because I don't know if it's all of you against her, or if it's really more you against her, and everyone's just kind of falling in line, wherever that is. So I don't know if maybe, if it's her, and then you guys, if maybe you can look into trying to pull together and find your own place, or leave, because I think ultimately what you need from your mom is separation. If you guys can't be under this roof without antagonizing each other, with your presence, with anything, the only thing that's going to help is separation. You have to find a way to get out of that. Even if not everybody, if you and your boyfriend can figure out what your finances, have a real talk about your finances together, and be like, what are you making? What am I making? What are we paying for? And how can we start setting aside a little bit of money every month to try to get us out, so that when the lease is up in 8 months, you guys can go ahead and go. I don't know if you have friends, or if you want to, go on. There's so many Facebook groups out there that are specified to people's areas, where you can try and find roommates. You can try and find rooms to rent, anything you can to get out of the situation, because that ultimately sounds like what it needs to happen. Especially if you can find something that's relatively close to your guys' job, then you can do something like Ubering or something like that. Because I do Uber on the side, and a lot of the people I pick up are going to work, and for some of them it's as little as $3 to $4 per ride. So it doesn't have to be this really big expense. If you can, that could be a way to be able to get around if you don't want to do if bus is an option, if walking is an option, if bike riding is an option, stuff like that. I mean, if I'm not going to say you're an asshole for laying out all the things that you did, because it was going to happen eventually. Somehow, some way, you can't bottle those emotions up. Somehow, some way, that's going to blow over. And it just happened to do it finally for you. And these are your truths. This is how you feel. If she is truly a narcissist, it's probably true. She's never going to see your point of view as being a truth in anything. She'll just see it as an exaggeration or something like that. And that's never going to be something that you're going to heal from, because it's going to be a pushback for you. Because that's just how narcissists are. You're never going to win. You're never going to make them see your point of view. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you're an asshole for that. I just think ultimately what you guys need is separation. I think you guys need to really figure out a way to remove yourselves from this situation. And if it's going to be 8 months before the lease is up and you can't actually move anywhere, then you need to find ways to get out of the house. Girl, you gotta get out. Date night doesn't necessarily mean going to an actual place. Get a picnic. Tell your boyfriend, let's go out for a few hours. Let's go find somewhere to just hang out, be ourselves, be away from the house, be alone, and lessen the contact you have with your mom, because that might end up actually helping. Because if you're not there to antagonize, and then also she can gossip, she can gossip to her friends without you.
Months, in these 8 months, find something. Maybe there's some evening classes or something. Maybe there's something for certifications or something, or something in the evenings so you can kill two birds with one stone. You can get out the house and you can work towards putting yourself in a situation where you can permanently get away from her and be comfortable. Because the last thing that I want to happen is for you to, rush this thing. Did she say how old she was?
25, I believe.
20. Okay, yeah. So yeah. The last thing that I would want is for y'all to rush and get out there and not be able, because girl, the U.S. economy is trash right now.
Terrible.
Okay, it is extremely hard for people who are, established in their lives to maintain these days.
Yeah.
So I really want y'all to put yourselves, you don't have a lot of time to do it, but put yourselves in the best position to be able to stay independent. That you do not have to run back to your mom and be dependent on her, because baby, that'll be another feather in her cap.
It will be.
She will be on that phone talking even more shit,
Yes. And you know what? And also, as if it's a really financial hardship, as crappy as they are, check out some government funding. Maybe there's something out there that can really help you, at the very least, get your leg out of the door. But I hope this gave you some insight. I hope it helped even just a little bit. Feel free to email us, even if it's not a full update for us to share. Feel free to email us to give us any other thoughts or opinions you have about it, or if there is an update you want to share with us, we would love to hear it. But ultimately, I wish you the best of luck.
And thank you for sharing it with the audience, because the audience is going to have a good amount to say.
Yes.
If y'all are watching on YouTube, get to sounding off in them comments. I want to see it. I want to see what y'all got to say. If there's something that Crystal and I missed that y'all think is relevant, or some good advice for this young lady, please feel free to share it, because I'm sure that it'll help her. Just don't put your foot in your mama ass, because that's what's coming next. She finna put hands on that lady.
I know, right? Don't do that.
I don't want that to happen, even though she might deserve it.
Right.
But yes, thank you for sharing that letter with us, and thank you all for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure that you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you are listening. Make sure that you also leave us a review. We want to know what you think. We want you to share with other people what you think. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Sound off about this listener letter in the comments. We really want to see it. As we said, if you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story with us, please do so at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That is TEAANDCRYSTAL@gmail.com. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast, and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Crystal, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of her?
Nope. No. Thank you. I'm like trying to.
No.
I really need to think of like some closing statements or something, because then every time you ask one, I'm like, no, I have nothing.
Right.
I have nothing to say.
What did I hear the other day? Somebody said, minding your business is tax-free, and something else I can't remember. Mind your motherfucking business. How about that?
As a podcast who gets their nose in a business and everyone's business, yes.
And I eat it up every time.
I know, right? But yes, thank you guys once again for joining us. We hope you enjoyed everything, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.